September 25th, the new Fox Tuesday kicks off with New Girl's new season. Then welcome Ben and Kate.
Stay away from my sister before you find out what 6 years of Krav Maga feels like. Well, like year and a half plus like 4 years on and off I was traveling.
Followed by another all-new New Girl.
What am I looking at here?
Pure, unadulterated friendship.
And the Mindy Project.
Can't believe you're tattling.
Tattling is when a little girl does it, okay? When a hot woman does it, it's called whistleblowing.
The new Fox Tuesday, premieres September 25th on Fox.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Glee After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Glee After Show.
Hi, all you Gleeks out there. Woo! Woo! So Bing is for doing, and we're here doing the season premiere after show for Glee.
Finally!
Yes. Finally!
It's here.
Could not wait any longer for it. I've been waiting for it all week. I don't know about you girls, but crazy.
It's been like, months for me.
Yeah.
I've been
watching Glee straight for like the last 3 weeks.
I know. I've been trying to catch up and make sure I know all the little details so we could come in here and do an awesome after show for you guys.
Yes.
So as we mentioned, it's the beginning of season 4, episode 1. It's called The New Rachel. So this episode had New York with Rachel moving for NYADA, and back in Ohio we saw a little bit of the new directions going on.
We need to introduce ourselves.
Oh, I'm jumping way ahead. Here we go.
We're too excited.
Yes,
we want to jump right into it.
We wanted to get, there's so much to get into, but I'm Stephanie Wenger, and you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Wenger, keeping it simple for everybody, and Marisa.
I am Marisa Movies. I'm Marisa Serafini here.
Sarah Mendoza here at Sarah with an H Mendoza, and we're missing our lovely co-host Christiane Lopez. She is working on a show right now at NBC, but she'll join us next week.
So very exciting.
Yeah.
And
we miss you, Christy.
We totally do. She's so much fun to have in studio with all of us, especially when we're watching the show. So we want to kind of get into this episode, especially Rachel's crazy move to New York, so different from her Ohio and McKinley life. So what do we think? Is she gonna make it in New York? There was that moment of her lying to everybody, telling them, I'm okay here, this is good, and you kind of see her not being okay.
It's definitely, she's experiencing the culture shock. I went away for college myself. I was in Honolulu. I ended up staying for like 6 years, but I know how I felt when I first moved out. It was definitely scary, especially when you're coming from a sheltered home that's very cookie cutter like Rachel, right? And that's the kind of home that I grew up in. So once you're thrown into this world where you don't know anybody really, and your parents are not there to take care of you, and you're surrounded by maybe some mean people, some mean New Yorkers. It's tough.
She comes from a small town, and then to move to New York, one of the biggest cities in our country, that it is a major change and transition that she's still working on getting into.
Right.
And I think she just needs to, have that time to build that thick skin.
Yeah, I did the same thing, move from suburbia into a big city, and it takes a minute, but I also think that she's not having the most welcoming experience with her new dance teacher. It was the first scene in the show tonight with Kate Hudson playing an evil character. I mean, she's full on, there's not a sweet bone in that woman's body, as far as we know, so far at least.
She's very blunt, and she just says things so straightforward. Right. I feel that's like the typical New Yorker.
Yeah.
Not to like just the New Yorker people, but I feel that's just the kind of attitude
that
like for a dance teacher.
She's sort of like the Sue Sylvester for her New York world. However, it's like Sue Sylvester is kind of a caricature of a mean, coach or whatever. Here it's just more real and like nasty, and she's like dealing with this woman who obviously has some issues, like real world issues that she needs therapy for.
I couldn't agree more, but I also feel like Rachel lived in a McKinley bubble, and she was the star of everything, and now she's kind of learning that she's, what is the saying, a small fish in a big pond, and that's another huge adjustment for her, because she's used to everybody kind of bowing down to, I'm Rachel Berry, and that doesn't seem to be the case in NYADA anymore.
And she's a freshman now too, so she went back down to the bottom of the totem pole.
Right. Kate Hudson's character, the teacher, Cassandra July, she even says to her, like, I bet you were really big in Iowa or whatever. And she's like, actually, I'm from Ohio. She's like, even worse. Like, she's totally discounting, whatever she had back in her little hometown. She's letting her know, you're starting over here, honey.
Yep.
I feel like, she's going to have to. And she does find a friendly face, though, in Brody.
That's a sexy face, not just a friendly face.
I think we were all like,
face.
Whoa.
Sexy bod.
So hot.
Sexy everything.
Mm-hmm.
Sexy voice.
Sexy all around.
Sexy.
Yeah, and I mean, they did quite
John over there is like
looking at us just like, no, crazy.
Drooling over these guys.
Yeah, and we kind of they wanted everybody to know from the get-go how hot this guy was.
Yeah.
You were introduced to him in a co-ed bathroom. He walks out
half naked.
Yep.
That's a good way to introduce a new character, I think.
That has that body. That's
I think that we had a similar introduction to Sam, if I recall, Cord Overstreet's character. He quickly, we saw him without a shirt on.
Oh.
They like to do it on Glee.
Sam was singing, because Sam was singing in the shower too. When we first, because Finn in season 2 at the beginning, Finn saw Sam singing in the shower and brought Sam into the Glee Cup that way.
Finn was discovered singing in the bathroom too, right?
Yeah, it's all coming full
with
circle.
This bathroom discovery that's going on?
Ryan Murphy and introducing new characters in shower, bathroom, locker room situations seems to be a thing for Glee.
But I feel that's a time when, people are singing, your personal time, you sing to yourself.
You know what? This is so crazy, but that's how actually I landed my first solo in theater. Is I was singing in the bathroom,
Nice.
And I came out and our instructor was like, "Was that you singing in the bathroom?" So it was, that's so weird. I just realized that.
Our discoveries that we make in the Glee After Show. Absolutely. So what do we think with Brody? He kind of mentions towards the end of the episode that he had a relationship that didn't work out with his high school girlfriend. Moving to NYADA, you need to be your own person. And he kind of encourages Rachel to leave Finn behind, and for those of us who are Finchel fans, that was a sad little moment.
I don't think that he was encouraging her to leave Finn. I think he was just trying to refocus her on what she's got now.
Yes.
Instead of focusing on what she's left behind, rather being grateful for her current situation where she's at in New York. It's the opportunity for her new self. And he said, hey, you look good here. He took a picture with her, and he's just trying to boost her confidence. I think because she did look so sad, just sitting there alone, staring at a picture of this guy who she wasn't with, physically at least in the moment,
Yes.
That's how I took it, at least.
No, I could totally see that. I just feel like I really do want Finchel to be reunited. I'm sure you'll hear me say this all season long. Finn and Rachel belong together, but I could see her taking a detour with Brody for sure.
Right.
I mean,
just a slight detour, yes.
Well, I agree with you. I want Finchel to get back together so that I could be with Brody.
There you go. I like the way you think.
Yes, very nice.
I think we're all going to be fighting for Brody this whole season.
I know.
Joe Hart's my character.
Oh,
yeah. And I'm normally for Corey Monteith and Finn. So maybe we can each have.
Bring him back.
Last week we had fun saying who was our screen on-screen boyfriends.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
we'll develop throughout the season, and maybe some of our viewers can tell us who they think our on-screen boyfriend should be.
Yeah.
Because
Your crushes.
Yeah, exactly.
I
We
have
want to
like
know.
4 in the show now.
Yeah, we want to hear your opinions and thoughts. So go to iTunes, search AfterBuzz TV Glee, and download our podcast for absolutely free. We promise to not charge anything. And tell us if we're doing good. Tell us if we're doing bad. And if we are doing bad, let us know how we can improve. That, help us, help you guys, because we love bringing you good content and good free after shows. And plus, we love Glee, and we know you Gleeks out there love it too.
Yeah, tell us what you think about this new season.
Yes.
There's so much going on, and we were all like, whoa, this is like, slow down,
Yeah.
we're 20 minutes in, and we have met all these new characters and so much stuff.
So much going on.
So to kind of switch over to the other side of the show, we saw New York Life with Rachel.
Can I just say one thing, though? Sorry about Brody.
Yes.
Did you know that he has an Australian accent in real life?
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
He actually, I guess to give some backstory here, he actually was like 3rd place in Australian Idol. And that's how he was discovered in his country. And he's got the full-on Australian accent, but you couldn't even tell in this episode. So I was really amazed how he pulled that off.
No, I mean, he does a great job with that for sure. Because, I mean, you couldn't tell at all.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, that's a good little insider.
And he is taken, actually, in real life.
Well, so...
You can still dream.
Yeah, still dream.
Oh, I will.
So to go back to McKinley here, we saw the New York experience with Rachel, and then they did a great job of kind of splicing together with McKinley. I was a little worried when I heard they were doing that show within a show, how it would work. And I really liked it. I was surprised. It was a lot to take in, but it worked really well. And so we kind of quickly meet Jacob again, who's, as we all remember, the news reporter for school. Yes. And he kind of quickly gives you the lowdown, a summary of like what happened last summer with the Glee Club and where they're at now. So Artie's back. He's kind of taking on the director's chair, which we saw a little bit last season. Excited to see how that goes for him. He seems like he could become, I don't know, separated from the rest of the Glee Club.
Yeah, a little bit, and I think Artie likes it too. So
It seems like he seems comfortable in that position.
Absolutely. And Tina, she kind of admits that she separated from Mike, so they're no longer a couple either. And we don't really see Mike
Yeah, we don't see him at all.
But yeah, we don't see him at all. He's kind of one of the ones that's missing. So
Did he graduate? I forget.
He did graduate. Yeah.
And he got a scholarship to some school in Chicago.
Yeah.
I feel like with the graduates, they're going to filter in slowly throughout the next few episodes. Like, we'll see Finn later, we'll see Puck, we'll see
Yeah, because we were missing tonight Finn, Quinn, Mercedes, Mike, and Puck. So we have 5 of those graduating new directioners who we did not see. So I hope we get to see more of them.
Yeah, but usually TV shows do that. Like when they're introducing new characters or if there's new people, then someone else has to kind of leave, just to balance out.
Absolutely.
the
And this is such a big cast to begin with that they kind of have to find moments for everybody, I feel like. But to go back to New Directions, they are in a fight to find the new Rachel, which goes back to obviously the name of the episode. And they want to find out who's going to be the next big star at McKinley.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know who's going to be the next big star. Like, I think Tina's going to step up.
I hope she does.
Yeah.
I hope so too. Because she's always wanted that chance. I feel like she never really got her true shining moment yet on the series.
And I have to say, for tonight's episode, I felt like Blaine or Marley, who we were just about to get into with the new directioners here, but Blaine did an amazing rendition of a song, and we'll be talking about all of the performances in this episode a little bit later on. But Marley kicked butt. They cut between her and Rachel singing singing New York State of Mind, as I'm totally messing
Barbara
up.
Streisand, which is very fitting that Rachel would open up as her season with a Barbara Streisand number.
Absolutely.
It was gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And it was so seamless too. Like their voices just like melded together, and then all of a sudden we're back here in McKinley High, then we're back here in New York with Rachel. It was one of my favorites for this episode.
Absolutely.
So good.
And what do we think of the new direction, the Glee Club being in the cool set now? At the beginning of the episode, they start out sitting with the cheerleaders. These are people who slushied them last year.
I honestly didn't like their newfound attitude. They're seniors, yes, of course. They're now top dog, but like they just started off really overconfident, a little bit of cockiness, and I didn't like it.
Right.
It didn't feel like the old Glee Club. It felt like they were, so cocky and out for themselves, and that's never been what Glee Club was about.
No.
Well, that's the thing. Like when you're a kid, deep down inside, you do want to be part of the popular crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get it, sometimes you forget where you came from and you kind of take it for granted, and then you just become this, really cocky person, like you said.
And kind of lose yourself.
Yeah, like Tina was kind of mean, right? When Marley came to the table and she was just trying to be friends at first, Tina was like, good luck, because there's a lot of competition. Like, I did not expect that from her.
No, and then as she's kind of sitting at that table, we see them also be mean to this new lunch lady who they consider overweight, and they just say all these awful things. I mean, it's just line after, like, they all kind of go back and forth insulting her. And you see that expression on Marley's face, and you quickly realize why, and that's because the new lunch lady is her mom, and that was just a hard moment for me to watch, to be honest.
I love that storyline. I didn't expect it.
No.
I thought it was just going to be a small thing at first, like, oh gosh, they're really disrespectful now, and they're not remembering where they came from, and I thought it was just going to be a side thing, but it's actually this huge thing. It's one of the new directioners mother. It's her mom.
Yeah.
And so we see that struggle. The mom is so sweet, right?
Yes.
Because she wants her daughter to fit in and be popular, and she doesn't want her to lose that at the cost of, people knowing that she's her mom.
Yeah, and she's willing to hide it. Like, she was like, oh, I'll go a couple blocks away and pick you up. I don't want you to, have to face, the same thing that I guess happened at her old school with being essentially bullied because her mom was the lunch lady. She was like, I want you to fit in here, and I want you to succeed.
Right.
And so she encourages her to, in fact, audition for the Glee Club. And we see lots of auditions for the Glee Club.
Yep.
And so in a surprise moment, we also see Puck's brother audition, which was kind of a fun... Jake. I was going to call him Jacob from The Reporter, but Jake. We will learn all of these brand new names very quickly next week.
His name is actually Jake. Jacob.
There you go.
It's pretty easy to remember.
Yeah, I like it. And so they're going to be, I guess, the two, Marley and him are going to be the two, in theory, new members of New Directions. Marley's already accepted her role, and we see her towards the end of the episode performing with New Directions. And then Jake seems a little more iffy about whether he'll actually take part in it.
Well, he's got that ego problem going on.
His attitude is something else.
Chip on his shoulder.
Mini Puck, for real.
Oh, seriously.
I loved the moment where he was like, I'm not like my brother. And I was like, I think you're exactly like your brother.
You're exactly like him.
And he's interesting because Mr. Schuester takes him aside and is like, if you don't have this, this chip on your shoulder, everything's going to work out for you and you can be a part of this club. And he was like, I don't need you, and kind of pushes it all aside. But if we know Glee, we know that he's going to be part of that. His audition was amazing. So I'm excited to see more of him.
I felt like, there are some layers there to that character, because you can kind of see him, willing kind of willing at first when Mr. Schuster was talking to him about joining, until he mentioned like Puck, and then it's almost as if there's this resentment or something with their relationship, the brother relationship, or something that's like, oh well, you know, if you're gonna equate me to my brother or compare me to my brother, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not like him.
No, but I think like you mentioned, there is an underlying story there that I think that we're gonna find out eventually, because as we all know, Puck had a hard family life, and I think that translated to his brother Jake. So I think we'll find out why Jake is the way he is.
I completely agree, and that's one of those storylines that's going to come out, I feel like, a Sue Sylvester kind of way. We're going to have to wait for it. It's not going to come out episode 2. I think it's going to be a long wait. Like, Sue has a complex life, and let's not forget, Sue has a new baby.
Yeah, she does.
Yay. Robin. So cute. That baby is adorable.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what happens with Sue and this new baby. Do you think she's going to become a little bit softer as a person?
I think we kind of saw that, right?
Yeah,
she was like, "Hey, porcelain." She was talking to Kurt. It was, you know, at least her tone was a little bit sweeter. She did make some snotty remarks still, you know, like typical Sue fashion, but I think you see her heart a little bit more when she's holding her baby, at least.
I think, when the baby is actually with her, you totally get that sense of her, but she also hands off the baby to a Cheerio and is like,
new Cheerio.
Yeah, we forgot to mention her, Kitty.
Kitty.
And she, I feel like, is not nice. She's kind of Quinn 2.0, but without the soft side of Quinn.
But meaner.
No.
But meaner. Like, they made her worse, which is, I didn't know was necessarily possible, but they found a way.
Well, Sue said she's her new head B word. You know, this is my new head bitch.
Yeah.
That's true.
Exactly.
She's living up to that title there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
More of a B than Quinn ever was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do we think that Kate Hudson in New York, the new instructor, is kind of taking over the Queen Bee, Sue Sylvester role, or do you think Sue still has some stuff up her sleeve?
Sue definitely has stuff
I think they're
up her
both,
sleeve.
yeah.
But I think Kate Hudson's character, Cassandra, she's the kind of person that needs to motivate Rachel. Because Rachel had motivation in McKinley, and now she's in New York, and she doesn't have anyone, so I think there's that driving force that'll make Rachel who she is in New York.
Absolutely. And then we finally get to meet one more graduated new directioner, and and we see Kurt and his new life, and I love the fact that he was an awful barista. Like, he couldn't handle being a barista. Yeah. That's kind of, we see that he's still living in Ohio, took a job being a barista, and he sits and talks with Blaine and Brittany instead of doing his job, and everyone's complaining at him, and you can just tell that his life is not going anywhere fast at this moment.
He's stuck in McKinley.
Yeah.
Literally stuck. And he was supposed to go to this community college there, and he needs a new change too. So
it was really funny when Blaine was like, "Can I give you some advice? You can't be here anymore," because he's just like at campus all the time. Like, he still goes to the dang high school, but he's already graduated.
Yeah,
like, you gotta move on.
And I feel like every high school has one of those kids who, at least mine did, where I was a senior and he had graduated and he came back and was walking around the hallways, and I was just like, you probably need to move on from here. Like, as much as I loved hanging out with you when
let it go.
Yeah, let it go. Let you move on from your high school experience. And I always feel like Blaine is the more mature one in that relationship. Even though Kurt is older, he seems more settled in life than Kurt ever has. And so Blaine does, in fact, encourage him to get away. And it's time. And he takes his advice, and we have another heartbreaking scene in a car, which I don't know why they keep doing this. But
Kurt and Bert, they are so great together. I love the father.
They're so adorable, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love the father.
Yeah, and he's like, you're gonna go, to New York, you need to do this, and you'll find your way, and there'll be people like you. And I think that's always been an issue for Kurt, that he doesn't feel accepted at McKinley. And so finally getting to New York where there are more theater-loving gay people could be really great for him. I hope it goes
Just more
well.
people who don't care what other people think. They're artists, and they you know, self-expression is important in that culture.
And the place to do it is New York, and he's literally moving to his niche. You know?
So amazing. And I think we called it last week in our Glee preview show that, in fact, Kurt and Rachel, roommates.
Yes.
So
That
amazing.
is so perfect.
I mean,
Very fitting.
She's got a in-home stylist.
true. What Finn never wanted.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I feel like both of them having this new New York life together would be great. To move to a new place by yourself, it's hard. Trust me, I know. And to move to some place with someone else, you know, I think that's very encouraging.
Right.
I completely agree. I also just have to say that if Finn and Rachel get back together, the most awkward threesome group in that room, like, you know, their New York apartment is going to be the size of a postage stamp. Like, none of them have the money to get a penthouse.
Box.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's going to be super awkward to do that. And then I just kind of love the fact that Rachel lied at the beginning of the episode about how great her New York life was, and she's like, I have the best dance teacher, she's fantastic. And then you see her admit to the fact that it's not going well for her, she's not okay, and in such a movie moment, like, that's such a romantic comedy
It
moment. They go do a wide shot and you see that Kurt is in fact standing around the fountain from her, and he's right there and just like ready to be her best friend again.
And they go running into each other's arms.
I know, I was
very movie.
Just a movie
moment.
dream world moment, yeah.
Exactly. But I was so excited because they're not a relationship on the show, but they're definitely one of my favorite twosomes together. They're hilarious together. And I felt like we were missing Santana. The experience of Santana and Brittany, those one-liners were definitely missing in the show tonight.
Yeah, and
Well, I think Brittany had some, but her
Brittany.
little weird comments that she makes that never make any sense.
True, but I don't know, I just wanted more. I guess I wanted more of that. I wanted that Glee flavor that from past seasons.
What we're
I
used
wanted
to,
to see Santana because in the finale of season 3 that we found out that Santana got enough money to go to New York. And I was kind of wanting to see her in New York too, so, and we did see her tonight.
I feel like it's all to come. They had so much to get through in this hour that we kind of just got a taste of everything, and there's obviously lots more to play with.
Right.
So moving on to the performances, we had, I think, 5 of them tonight, if I
had a lot.
counted properly. Let's see. Six?
I think 6.
Oh.
No, 5. You're
5?
right.
Okay, I thought I had counted properly, but you never know. Check my work. Let me know if I'm missing anything on iTunes. So we started out, the first performance was actually Call Me Maybe, which was a summer hit. I mean, I think I've heard the song 50,000 times, but loved the Glee rendition of it. Thought it was kind of hilarious, and they did a great job of it starts out high energy for sure.
Yeah, it was very simple too. It was just them dancing on the stage. It was, like, no extravagant choreography. You know, it was just a fun song.
Yeah, I felt like it kind of went back to the Glee origins of, you know, those kind of journey songs where it's just the Glee cast. And I think that that's a nice way because I think a lot of Gleeks were questioning where the show was going to go.
Well, I love the song. It gets stuck in my head all the time. Carly Rae Jepsen is so cute. I love her voice so much. I actually disagree with you guys. Like, I thought it was okay, and I guess it was high energy, but I just expected the first song to be like crazy harmonies or something like that, like more
boom.
I guess refined or something, like more like seasoned Glee singing. Where it was mostly just like them having fun, and it was mostly Brittany singing, who's not, you know, she's very talented, but she's a better dancer than she is a singer. Right.
I can see that.
Yeah.
For sure. But you did get that high performance number in the next song with Kate Hudson singing Lady Gaga's Dance Again.
Americana.
Americana / Dance Again. It's a mashup.
Ooh, yes, I'm reading my notes too quickly. But her dancing, her body and her dancing,
goodness,
insane.
Wow.
It felt like
holy crap,
full on Broadway. I mean, like bigger than Smash numbers have been, a lot bigger than some Glee numbers have been. Lots of choreography in that, and her voice. Great.
Yeah,
so
it was so beautifully shot too. It's like we were watching a music video.
Yeah.
A high production value music video.
Yeah.
And she looked fabulous. Marisa, you were saying that, or someone was saying that she just had a baby, right?
Yeah, she just had her son.
And she looks
ago.
like
She
a
looks
model.
great.
Yeah.
Already in model shape.
Incredible. Yeah, and you
Great
see her in all
voice.
these like tank top cutoffs and things like that, and you're just like, oh my gosh,
Midriff.
your
working.
abs are intense, crazy. So
She's working it.
I'm excited to see more of her performances on Glee. I think this was off to a great start.
It's a great start for her character.
Yeah.
Because we saw her singing and dancing, not just being a dance teacher. So she's a double-edged sword.
And we only got a taste of Jake, the Puck's brother, and singing "Never Say Never" by The Fray.
Beautiful.
One of my favorite
Yeah.
songs, and it's, he did.
He's so talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very simple, but I think simple was enough.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell his voice is gonna be a one to watch on the show for sure, and he is able to, have I think we've only seen a sliver of what he can do. And then we move on to, I think, my favorite performance of the night, which was "It's Time" by sang by Blaine.
So cute, yeah.
And he did
loved it.
Loved it.
So
That's like that true high energy performance, like higher than I think anything else in the show tonight.
/ stomp. There was some stomping.
There's some
too.
I
stomping and
like what they
love
did with the
stomp.
cups.
Yeah.
cups, and I like
Cup
him
choreography.
Yeah.
cup choreography and adorable some jump roping going on, which was really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I think Blaine / Darren Criss can pretty much do no wrong. He's able to put out these amazing performances that are, high energy and fun to watch.
He's so naturally charming.
Totally.
Yeah.
Such a charming performer. I always enjoy watching him.
Yes, he's very fun to watch.
And the last performance of the night, we finally see the whole group together for the first time. Oh, did I skip? I think I skipped Marley and Rachel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Marley and Rachel.
Marley and
I
Rachel.
can't believe I skipped that. That's such a major
I guess because
one.
we kind of mentioned it earlier.
Yes, we did. But New York State of Mind.
Barbra Streisand.
Woo! And Rachel's voice, I mean,
Always.
Amazing.
insane.
And the fact they were in that rounded room, so you even got better acoustics.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And I mean, Marley's voice is amazing, but I still was just in awe of what Rachel can pull off. Leah Michelle is great. And so I'm excited to see more from both of them. I feel like
She's such a star. She is such a star.
And I love the fact that Brody gave her a standing ovation.
so cute.
He totally digs her.
Oh, totally.
And you know who digs Marley is Sam, Cord Overstreet's character.
Because he can relate.
He can relate, and he was like, we both come from the poor background. I get where you're coming from. And he apologizes for the Glee Club. So we kind of have this nice ending where Marley feels more accepted after her song, and Rachel does a little bit too because she gets this standing ovation.
Yeah. And I think another thing for Marley is she is different, and I think that's the strong message about Glee, that all of them are different, and Marley, her poor background and her mother, is just what makes Marley the odd one out. It makes her totally
She's another
acceptable
underdog.
to Glee. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Sam hid his money problems for a long time from the Glee Club, and Marley was way more open about it, and by the end of the episode we see her being completely honest and saying like, yeah, my mom's the lunch lady, I'm not, I'm obviously struggling a little bit. So it's interesting, and that they're so supportive of her too.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then finally, to end the episode, we go to an Adele song with the whole group singing what Glee is so good at, Chasing Pavement.
Great song.
Great song. Loved their version of it too. It was a little different than the Adele version. Sometimes it can get weird on Glee. You're not sure if the version totally works, but I thought theirs did tonight. What did you?
Yeah, I mean, Marley, her voice, it's very different than Rachel's, but it's very good. It's more, there's more of a deepness to it. It sounds a bit more mature, sort of, like Adele. So I thought that was a great, like, coming out the gate, official performance for her with the new directions.
I loved it.
A nice initiation.
Yeah.
Into Glee.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for, Fox is initiating some new comedies starting September 25th at 8 p.m. So we're starting off with the old series, or not old, it's in its second season, New Girl, which I just can't get enough of. I love that show. Have you guys seen it?
I have not seen that one.
I've only seen a couple episodes.
Okay. See, I can't miss it. I'm obsessed, and she's hilarious, has a lot of the one-liners just like Glee does. And then we move on to, at 8:30, a new show also by the producers of New Girl called Ben and Kate. And I was able to see a preview episode of it. Could not stop laughing. Was watching with a bunch of friends. We all hooked it up to my TV, and we were just dying.
I watched it too. It was very funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's about a girl and her brother and just their antics. And if anyone has siblings, you'll be able to relate to this show for sure.
That's why I liked it.
And then you get a second episode of New Girl on September 25th, which, I mean, for us New Girls fans, that's an hour of New Girl. I mean, you can't lose that way.
This
can't
season.
go wrong.
Exactly. And then I think everyone's been highly anticipating this show, The Mindy Project.
Yes.
So Mindy Kaling from The Office. She created her new sitcom for Fox, and it's super cute.
It's hilarious. Have you seen it?
No, I
Have any of you
haven't.
seen
No.
it?
I saw it. Yeah, it's, I mean, so good. I think even the previews don't do it justice. It's so funny, and she, plays this 20-30-year-old woman who is finding her way in life, and a young doctor, and kind of the relationships that we all have, the falling outs. I was
very
laughing.
Quirky, high energy, very funny.
Yeah, and very fast moving, and a fun half hour. So that's the new lineup for Fox on Tuesday nights starting September 25th at 8.
Sweet.
Yes, set your DVR.
I know, can hardly wait. I know we'll be talking about all those shows here at AfterBuzz too. So to get back to Glee, we're have a little news and gossip for you. So
Should we go to break first, or should we? No. Okay.
So, co-creator of Glee, Ian Brennan, says that the show has a new lease on life, and we saw a little bit of that tonight. And he just wants the show to be all about what happens after high school. So he told The Hollywood Reporter that so much of the show is about telling high schoolers to follow their dreams. You actually want to see your main character go through with it. And that's kind of obviously a comment about Rachel moving to New York and finding her way, and we're seeing a little bit of that tonight, and I think that that's a really exciting place for the show to be. I feel like season 4 is a good time to have kind of a new chapter, a new start, for sure.
And to jump on that, I love the fact in the actual show, Bert, Kurt's father, he had a great line that all great artists need a little struggle in their lives.
Right.
And I think it's just that grind and the new life, and you have to work for your dreams.
I completely agree. And we also kind of going back to the new Rachel thing, we saw Rachel's style transform a little bit tonight. It's a little cleaner than it was,
more trendy.
More trendy, a little more New York. It was fun to see, seeing that influence on her. And Leah Michelle completely agrees. She's loving doing having that new style, and she's also calls it an honor to work with Kate Hudson, which I couldn't imagine it would be anything else. And she says that she's I'm quoting here, "Oh my God, I'm the biggest fan of Almost Famous. I just think she's unbelievable, so I'm so excited to get to work with her." And she told that to Access Hollywood last night at the premiere party. So
Very cool.
And they have at least a few more episodes to go with Kate Hudson. I know she's doing a multi-episode arc for the show.
That's exciting.
Awesome.
I want to see more of her.
I've also got some gossip here for Jacob Artis, who plays Jake, Puck's younger brother. So we were all wowed by his performance tonight, Never Say Never, which was his audition piece for New Directions, right? Turns out that was his actual audition piece for Glee.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that the performance in this episode was supposed to be another song, but they were kind of talking about it, and Jake had suggested to the producers that they do his audition song, and they went with it. So we actually got to sing the actual song he auditioned with for this first debut episode that he's in.
That's cool. And they also did that with the original cast members of Glee too, like Chris Colfer's song that he sang the one Chicago song. Cellophane. Cellophane. That was his audition piece, and that was his audition piece in the show and in real life.
Awesome.
So.
I love that Ryan Murphy does that. He mirrors actors' real experiences in life with
And that just,
what's
he's
going
so
on in the
open,
show.
you know, for creative minds to give their input. Because, you know, some producers and directors, they're like, no, this is going to be my thing. Like, this is how I want to do it. But he's so open with these young artists.
Yeah, and a lot of the actors say that they'll be singing songs around set in their trailers or, you know, a craft service, and he's willing to, like, allow them to sing it on the show, which is so much fun. I can imagine as an actor having that kind of creative freedom. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's great for the show because, you know, you're surrounded by youth and young energy, and that's when the imagination is flowing. So whatever creative ideas come to mind, let them.
Absolutely.
So.
I've got another piece of gossip or little fun fact here. Kate Hudson, so she plays the dance teacher, right, in this series, and she's new. She's actually a huge fan of So You Think You Can Dance.
Yes.
Okay.
Love that show.
And I couldn't really point them out, but she was so surprised and happy to find that two of the dancers that performed Lady Gaga and J-Lo's song were actually from So You Think You Can Dance. It's Melanie and Marco. I don't know if you...
No, from season 8.
Yeah,
Oh,
Melanie and
that's
Marco
awesome.
are in that performance.
I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, you guys are going to have to rewind and see.
Yeah, I was like, I was so focused on what she was doing. I need to watch the dancers.
Yeah, so
Love
she was sort of awestruck, she said, when she was talking to them, and they're like, she said that they were like, why is she complimenting us? This is so weird. You're Kate Hudson, you know? But she was actually amazed by them. And I just have one more quick one here. You know, Leah Michelle's character Rachel is struggling with New York in this episode. In real life, she actually had a thing that happened to her. Her apartment in New York, she was convinced was actually haunted.
Oh, she talked about this on Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel, right. So I saw it on Kimmel. So she moved out, and she found out that it was owned by nuns back in the day, and that it was a convent, and she swears that she heard someone singing or something while she was in the bathroom. So after that, she was like, all right, I'm outie.
And she also believes that her house here in LA that she just bought is also haunted. So this may be an issue for Leah Michelle.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe they're following her.
She should have sung with the nuns. You know, she could have made some fun out of that.
So scary.
So creepy. Way to go to a creepy place with it.
But yeah, that's all I have.
I would
for
have
gossip.
welcomed it.
Awesome. Yeah. So we can go into some predictions now if you guys are ready for it.
All right.
Oh my gosh, so much to think about.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Who wants to start? No. Anyone? Good ideas?
I'll go. Yeah, I love Kate Hudson. I believe last week during our preview after show, I mentioned I just want to see more performances from her, and I think that's just gonna be so much fun to watch. And I want to see everyone else that was missing, clearly, noticeably missing in tonight's episode, like the 5, Finn, Puck, Mercedes, Mike, and Quinn.
Yeah.
I want to see them.
To go with that, I think that Rachel and Brody are going to continue to get cozy with each other, and Finn is then going to show up and see them getting cozy and be like, oh my gosh, what's happening here?
I completely agree with that prediction, and I also think that we're gonna see some roommate friction between Kurt and Rachel. I think as much as they're best friends, if you remember being with Finn in the same room, he has a very specific style, and I don't know that that matches Rachel's style, so it'll be interesting to see how that roommate relationship plays out. And I also want to see more of the new directioners and their performances, because I just feel like we got a taste tonight, so that'll be really fun. I'm so excited about this season. I think it's going to be really great to have both the New York and the McKinley High things going on. Let us know what you think. Give us your predictions. Let us know what you think of our show, who you want to see here, if there's any special guests you want, all that good stuff on iTunes. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you girls. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Sarah with an H Mendoza.
And I am at Marisa Movies. That's Marisa Movies. I also host Honey Boo Boo after show here.
Oh my God.
Yes, I do the Here Comes Honey Boo Boo after show, and I'll also be doing Once Upon a Time. And that starts up in a couple weeks.
That's awesome. And I'm Stephanie Wenger, and you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Wenger, or you can check out my website, www.stephaniewenger.com, and it'll have all information about what I've been up to. So check it out. Thanks, guys.
Bye, Gleeks.
Bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later, Gleeks!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.